Hi, friends. Welcome. My name is Peggy Noe, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Escondido, California, in northern San Diego County. And I'm here with my little Yorkshire Terrier, Ellie, and we're going to make cards together today. I'm so happy to see you. Let me just check for a minute and make sure we're live on Facebook. Okay, good. We're live on Facebook, and it looks like I hope we're live on YouTube. So give me a shout out when you pop on so I know that you're here. How is the weather where you are? I'm wondering because a lot of the country is still very, very cold. But here in San Diego, we are amazingly warm. We are 85 degrees right now. Pam and Hilda and Ruth. Good. Ruth is here. She lives just a few blocks away from me, and it is so warm today. It gets cold at night, but it's in the mid 80s today. And so we are just enjoying this gorgeous weather. We've had rain, and so everything is so green. I was out driving around this morning, and everything is just beautifully green all over. You know, the vegetation is all gorgeous because normally it's brown and yellow. Oh, goodness. Ohio is freezing. Ruth says hot. Hi, Jeannie. Yes, she's wearing light pink today. I thought that would kind of go with my burgundy. We had to leave her this morning when we went out, and she never likes that. She doesn't like to be left. She doesn't like to be left alone at all. And I wanted to mention on Friday, I'm going to do my live a couple hours early. I'm going to do it at 2 o'clock Pacific because Ellie has a little checkup blood test, and they couldn't get us in until during the time of our live. So I'll do the live at 2. We'll be together at 2, and then we'll take Ellie to the vet. You just finished your Valentine's cards, Debbie. Here in Wisconsin, it's in the 20s, which is almost like a heat wave. Hi, Linda. I know, you guys it's cold for all of you. I'm sorry to hear that it is cold. That's just too bad. Let me see if I can see any comments. Linda, I see you there on Facebook. Thank you. So we know both things are working. Tracy, good to see you. And Renee, yes. Hi, Renee. Well, we've got a big weekend coming up with the Super Bowl and the Olympics and all that stuff. So we have a lot of stuff going on right now. But it's still a wonderful time to make cards. I just come in my craft room and relax and make my cards. Yes, 2 hours earlier than my normal is 4 o'clock Pacific. So that would be 1 o'clock Eastern. So I think it would be 11 a.m. East. No, you know what? There you go. I am just not good. I'm normally 4 o'clock Pacific, which is 7 o'clock Eastern. Yes, so 5 o'clock Eastern, but please figure it out for yourself. Don't rely on me to do it. 2 hours earlier on Friday, and we'll do a fun fold. But she needs to get and have that blood test, where they check and see how she's doing, and the only time we could get her in. Can you imagine 5 o'clock on Friday? I mean, we have to go out in the traffic. It's about a half an hour away, so we're gonna have a nice little drive on Friday afternoon. But we need to have her checked out. She's been such a good girl. She's been just a good girl. So what else is new with you guys? Seattle, Colleen, good to see you. And Tracy, Seattle 53 and sunny. That's nice. That's very nice. The weather is just crazy. I'm going to put her down. She really wants to get down. Beth, good to see you, Beth. Are you in San Diego right now, or are you over in Arizona? Because I know sometimes you could be in either place. I'm not sure where you are this time, but welcome. So good to see you. Linda, 20 degrees in Pennsylvania. Oh no, another storm this weekend. I'm so sorry. I know I checked my son's weather yesterday. I haven't checked it today. He's back in Massachusetts. It was 16 degrees. I keep telling him, what are you doing back there? Come out here. Well, we have a lot of stuff to do today. You're in San Diego, Beth. Okay, good. Sitting in warm San Diego, but it's probably pretty warm in Arizona, I would think too. Um, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today, and we're going to make a card using 3 different techniques. So hold on to your hats. We're going to play with 3 different techniques today. But the first thing I want to talk about is the new February product of the month. Have you guys seen it? I've got mine ordered, and I'm hoping it'll be here by Friday, and maybe we can use it in our project on Friday, because I saw that it was mailed today. It's called Painted Illusions. You're only getting a few inches this weekend though. Okay. Painted Illusions Designer Series paper, and there are 2 sample cards. And this paper is, I am so excited to get it. Here I have a better picture of the paper itself. And like I said, hopefully by Friday we'll have the actual paper to play with. But it is pastels, soft pastels, one of my favorite things, and a watercolor look. I think it was watercolored by the artist. That's why it's called Painted Illusions. Isn't that beautiful? I just can't wait to get my hands on that. I feel like I'm going to just be using it the whole month because it's so gorgeous. So how do you get the product of the month? Most of you know, but in case you don't know, when you reach $75 in an order in my online store with Stampin' Up, before tax and shipping, you can buy this product of the month, this beautiful paper, for only $5. But you have to reach that $75 threshold. But if you're going to be buying $75 worth of product, it is a great thing to add on. Now, I know a lot of you probably have bonus coupons. I do. I haven't used mine yet. I'm kind of saving them to see what else I want the rest of the month. Make sure to use your bonus coupons that you earned in January. You use them in February, so don't forget to use those. And then they've just released some new last chance products. Tina, Snowy and Cold, Granite Falls, North Carolina. Yeah, I know you guys have been really getting hit back there. The last chance products, they've just released some new ones. And as usual, look for the dies. Those usually have the biggest discount. So check out the last chance category in the online store if you want some good deals. Yes, Tracy's saving her bonus coupons for later in the month. I don't know why. I could have spent them. I just ordered something the other day to get the paper, I placed an order to get the product of the month, but I didn't want to use it because then I had to accumulate $75 to get the product of the month, right? So but Tracy and I will use ours later in the month. And then the biggest news is the Stampin' Positioner. And we're going to use it today. We're going to use the Stampin' Positioner to do some stamping. And this you can get absolutely free when you get the starter kit. So if you are not a demonstrator, this is absolutely the best time to get it. There's so much new stuff, so much gorgeous product. And you get $125 in product of your choice for only $99, and it all ships free. And then they add on the Stampin' Positioner for free. So it's a fabulous deal. Oh, Tina used her bonus coupons. Okay. They're good whenever you use them. I mean, we all know that. It's a wonderful thing to have a little help with the cost of things. We all love coupons and a discount. So if you get something on the last chance list, it's already hopefully discounted. Some is, some isn't. And then you use your bonus coupons. You're really saving then. So today, what are we going to do today? Let me turn you down so we can get started with our this is a 3 technique card. That's what I'm going to call it. Michelle, good to see you. Ruth is saving, looks like Ruth is saving hers also. I'm going to have a little sip of my peach sparkling water in this my adorable little tumbler that Roz sent me. I love it. So we can get started. So let me just turn you down here. And here we go. And we are going, this is the card we're going to make today. But like I mentioned, we're going to use 3 different techniques. It's light and I think kind of springy and uses some beautiful colors. Hi, Roz. I was just talking about you. There you are. Nancy, she's already used several of her coupons. Good for you, Nancy. So this card that we're using today, we've used this suite once before, mostly because I love it. It's called the Nature Walk Suite Collection. And I'm turning it a little lighter today. Oh, you tried this, the peach sparkling water. It is delicious. Paula, good to see you from Iowa. You love it already. Okay. And what I love about it, I love this suite. I love the paper. We're going to use the paper. We're going to use the ribbon, and we're going to use the bundle. And one thing, it's on page 39, 38, 39, 40, and 41 of the New Spring catalog. So you can find all the details there. But this is the card we're going to use right here, the card we're going to make. Let me put that catalog away. And here is let me show you the bundle. So I'm going to tell you why I really love it. I love leaves. I love big leaf dies. I love big leaf stamps because they're just fun. They make a card look beautiful. You can put things on top of leaves and build them up. This is the leaf die that I'm going to use today from this set. I've already taken it out to get ready to use it. This is the leaf die that cuts out the stamped image. Then you have a smaller leaf. You have this great little, looks like little words and some very good sentiments. And then over here, you have some interesting other dies. So it's just what I think is a really great basic bundle. And the paper is really what makes it. And with the paper, you can go, isn't it beautiful, Linda? You can go light or dark. And that's why I've chosen to go light on it. But you could definitely also go dark. And it moves all the way from, this is Old Olive, I think, and all the way over to Secret Sea, the dark here. And it covers other blues in between. Isn't that just so pretty? This is the sheet we're going to use today for a backing sheet. And there is a Secret Sea piece. It's just it's just a really nice paper to use for all kinds of, as a background really, for all kinds of cards. And this is the one that I think she was using in that photo in the catalog where she used a little, like a sponge dauber. Isn't this, it's just such, it's like a classic. Thank you. Yes, Beth, I agree. It's just a classic. And so this is the sheet we're going to use today because it moves from the light to the dark. And I'm kind of, even though the card looks a little bit light, I'm combining light and dark today. So let's go ahead and get started. It's going to be just a standard card base. Let me get my paper trimmer. And this is Secret Sea, 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to go ahead and score it at 4 1/4. Just right there, like that. And then we're going to cut this pretty piece right here to be our first layer on our card front. And what I want to do is I want to pull in this because this is the light area that's going to go more with what we're doing today. So I'm going to cut 4 inches off here. I'm going to cut a piece 4 by 5 1/4. And then we'll be ready for that. Okay. And we're just going to put that right on the front of our card here. And let me set my paper off to the side. I don't want to lose any of those pretty little pieces. Okay. So we're going to score this. We've scored it and we're going to burnish it is what I meant to say. And then we're going to go ahead and glue this piece on like this with multi-purpose liquid glue. It's not a hard card. You haven't even opened your pack? Oh my goodness. You must. Like I said, it's just a great background. I think it's just a great all-round paper, really. And you really don't need to do too much. We're going to do a lot, but you don't need to because the paper does so much there. Okay, we're going to set this to the side, and now we're going to work on a piece of basic white. I've got two pieces, one for the inside and one for the front of the card. These are 3 3/4 by 5. And we are going to use our Stampin' Positioner. And I've got it pretty much set up. I showed this to you guys the other day, and I know some of you already have yours. This is the base of it. Whoops. And I love the magnets have little tabs that you can just pull them apart if they do that and stick together like that. The back has a great foam kind of piece there, so your Stampin' Positioner doesn't move. And I'm using some of the grid paper that sits on these little pegs right there. And then this is our top plate, and you can tell that you have it right side up because you want to have the Stampin' Up logo bottom center so you can read it. And you know if it was upside down because you couldn't read the logo, number one, but also because it has these little spring-loaded feet, and those have to face down. So I have already placed my stamps on there. And from the stamp set, I'm using two pieces. I'm using the beautiful leaf stamp, and then I'm using this kind of, it's like words that you can't read kind of thing, or just a little background. I'm sure that someone has a name for it, but so I'm using those two, and I've already placed them, positioned them on the positioner, right? So that when I put my piece down at 1 inch down and 1 inch across, that's another reason I really like the grid paper. Can you see the numbers there, 1 and 1? And if you flip the grid paper, it's in metric. So I've already got my stamp placed where I want it to be, I'm pretty sure. So let's double check my two stamps. Now we're not stamping anything, and the stamp actually isn't even touching the paper because it's lifted up by the little spring-loaded feet here. So we're just setting it down. I'm going to check my magnets, and I see that I could move this magnet further over and this one back a little. So let's check them again because I don't want ink to go on the magnets. I think we're pretty good there. Okay, so I've got I already did that positioning. So now what we're going to do is turn our plate upside down, and we're going to ink it in soft seafoam, very light green. I wanted to make a soft card to go kind of to contrast with the darkness of Secret Sea. So I'm just patting and inking it up, and I'm trying to make sure I'm getting to all the edges. It's a light color, so I wanted to give it quite a bit of inking there. And then we're going to put our plate down. Now still, it's not touching the paper, okay, because it's still on its spring-loaded feet. And now we're going to stamp. And all we do is press down. You don't even have to press hard. I'm probably pressing a little harder than you need to, just to make sure that, because it's kind of a big stamp. And this is one reason I wanted to use this stamp today. There we go, all done. One reason was because it's a big stamp, and the Stampin' Positioner is a perfect instrument, tool to use when you have a large stamp. For example, we have many larger blocks, but this D block is one that I routinely use for larger stamps. And you can see that this leaf branch is larger than this block. So I'd have to get out some of my really big blocks. And in order not to do that, this is the great tool to use with your bigger stamps, because you just put them right on here. And this is our piece we're going to work with for the front of our card. Now while we're at it, I'm going to get out the piece that goes on the inside of the card. Okay, this is the same size, 3 3/4 by 5. And what I want to do with this is I want my leaf to come down in this corner, just a little bit in that corner. So all I need to do is move my paper around to where I think it's going to work out, and I think it's going to look great that way. I'm not being really precise or anything. I'm just eyeballing that. And remember, the stamp is not touching the paper right now. It's lifted up, but this way I can get my impression on the lower left corner of my inside piece, which is what I like to do. So I'm going to ink up just the top part of the leaves, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp again, just like that, and press down. Okay, and there's the inside of my card, the inside piece. So where's our card base? And we can see that's all ready to be glued in there. And this is going to be our top piece, but we're going to do more things with it. Okay, so didn't that Stampin' Positioner work great? I thought it worked. It works terrific. Now let me close up my ink here, and then I am going to give you a little tip for cleaning it. You can definitely clean it with your chamois, your Stampin' chamois, the purple one. But I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a sink in my craft room. So to use the Stampin' chamois, I would have to get up and go to my sink. Normally what I use is the cleaner that opens, that has the, normally I clean my stamps with, oops, I clean my stamps with this guy. It's like the cleaning kit or something, and I spray the stuff and then I clean my stamps really good. But when you're using, hold on a minute, a little something dropped. But when you're using the Stampin' Positioner, that of course doesn't work. So what I am going to use is these water wipes. They are 100% water. There's no chemical in them at all. And I keep these here at my desk when I want to clean something just with water, because there's just nothing else on it. So it's just as good as having that chamois, only it's disposable and I don't have to go to the sink. Hi Louise, good to see you. Miss Beth, you had a chance to get that the other day. I kept telling you to order it. Beth is a demonstrator. They say it'll be available later in the year. I kept encouraging everybody that was a demonstrator to go ahead and get it, because we knew they told us it wouldn't be available, the Stamp Positioner, again until the end of the year, except to people who joined Stampin' Up. So you can see how I'm just blotting to get the ink off, and then I'm also cleaning any ink that got on the plate, just like that. And I'm just going to set this aside, and now my plate is all clean, my stamps are clean, and I didn't have to go to my sink. So there we go. I'm going to put this away in my little cupboard here. Okay, so this is our piece. Now I'm going to turn it upside down. This is how I'm, oh, there she is. Oh, I got to remember how to say your name. Oh, Renee. Oh, and K is on here. You still have over 6 inches in your yard from the last blizzard. Oh my goodness sakes, Renee. Yes, you should have listened. Oh, you got one, but you haven't used it yet. Okay, well, keep watching the videos and you'll have great confidence in using it. It's easy, really. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to do a couple of different things with this piece. The first thing I'm going to do that I don't usually do on here, but is very fun, is I'm going to splatter it, okay? I want to give it some splatter because it's kind of a plain little piece, right? It just looks a little bit plain. So we want to give a little activity. So I'm putting some just plain computer paper here to protect my my pad there. And I'm going to use a Misty Moonlight Stampin' Blend. I'm going to use the brush end. And I don't know why this one is hard to get off. Okay. I'm going to put my little front piece right here, and I'm just very gently going to splatter. Who is that? Let me see. Polly, good to see you, Miss Polly. So I'm just very gently going to pull the lid back and splatter this little piece. And it just is going to give it some little activity. A little, see how it just gives it a little something, something. And I think that's enough. It just takes a few little brushes of the, just, you know, with that cap. And the splatter, as far as I know, stayed on the typing paper. So that's another technique for you. Typing paper, I don't know, that shows you I'm kind of old, computer paper. So there is our front piece. That's what we've done to it so far. Now let's see what the next thing we're going to do. Now we should cut out our leaves. And I kind of meant to put our leaves on there first before I did the splatter, but I forgot. So we're going to cut these beautiful leaves. This is the leaf die from the Nature Symphony die set. And I'm using a piece of soft seafoam cardstock. And even though this is kind of a large die, it fits in the small mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which I like. So let's go ahead and put that in. Let me see, I'm going to pull that back just a little bit. And the one thing I did notice about this die is because it makes a wonderful impression, it cuts the lines and different things like that. Okay, it's still typing paper some. Yeah, that was a boo-boo. It shows my age. So I'm just going to go back and forth several times to make sure all those little lines that it's going to cut are really cut through. And I'll show you what I mean here, because I do love this leaf die. Okay, can you see those little lines in there? Can you see all those little lines? I mean, it's very realistic. I just love it. So let me pop this out now. And I want to be careful because the leaves are a little bit, you have to be gentle so they don't pull off. There we go. And you see what I mean? Look at how pretty that is. Isn't that just a gorgeous leaf die? It's it could be my new favorite leaf die. I think I'm going to say that it is. And that's the only thing we're die cutting today. So now what we have is our card base. We have our piece of basic white that we've done all kinds of little treatments to. We have our leaves, and now I'm feeling like I don't think I need to splatter them. There's a lot of splatter there. So what we're going to do is go ahead and glue our leaves on, and then we're going to put some ribbon around this white piece. And with the leaves, we want to glue them, kind of superimpose it right over the stamped leaves. Not exactly. We want to angle it just a bit, but kind of. And I'm not going to glue every leaf down, and I'm definitely not going to glue these top two because I want to slide some ribbon up under there. So I'm just going to glue just the tiniest dots down in here, because I like, you know how I've told you before, I kind of like not to glue things down really firmly when it's something like this, because you want dimension, and if you don't glue it down firmly, a little of the dimension, you see how here these are kind of sticking up? Let me show you. So right there, whoops, you can see there that it just gives a little dimension because those aren't glued down. I only glued kind of every other one. So now we've got our leaves on, and we're going to take some of this gorgeous ribbon that's part of the suite. This is Secret Sea bordered open weave ribbon, and I just think it looks so nice. We're going to slide it right under these leaves because we did not glue them down, just like that. Isn't that, I just think that looks so pretty. And I'm going to wrap it around, and we're going to tie a bow because I love bows, but definitely you guys tie a knot if you want to, or just wrap it and secure it in the back, and it'll look just as pretty, however you want to do it. But I like to tie my bows. That's all I can say. I'm just going to tie a little bow here. And one thing I love about this ribbon is this type of ribbon, the sheer type ribbon, is always so easy to tie. And don't you love a ribbon that just ties real easily? I do. So we'll just tie our little bow here. And there we go. We'll just pull our tails a bit. So those, let me pull it down a little bit. We don't want it to overtake the whole card. And we want the tails to come down a little. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, now we're ready to adhere this to the front of our card. You had a heat wave. We almost made it to 20 degrees, Renee. Cute. Now, what I'm going to do to give even more dimension to this card is that I'm going to actually raise this. Uh-oh, that's a boo-boo. I curled it back there, but that's okay. Nobody will notice because I'm going to raise it up on dimensionals anyway. So don't tell, okay? Don't tell that to anyone. What goes on here stays here. We don't tell our stamping secrets, okay? I'm going to kind of use a lot of dimensionals because I want to make sure it's really adhered and it's really nice and raised up. And just ignore that curled ribbon there. I didn't check that. That was a little boo-boo. Okay, so now we want to see if we can get that on kind of even. And doesn't that look kind of good? The little dots really bring out the color of the ribbon. I didn't use Secret Sea. I used Misty Moonlight. I thought Secret Sea would look a little bit too black, the blend, to make the little splatters. Now one thing we need to do is put our inside piece, adhere that down, that we did with our Stampin' Positioner. That worked out so well because the stamp was already there, it was already adhered to the plate, and we just slid this piece in and stamped it. That worked out very well. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to do our sentiment, and we're going to heat emboss. I thought it would look especially nice and pull in the Secret Sea if we did some heat embossing, which you guys know I don't usually like to do because it's a bit messy, and I really try to stay away from messy. But I got all my tools here, and if you don't have the I believe it's called the Embossing Toolkit right here. I love this. It comes with every single thing you need for embossing. Well, most everything. It doesn't come with the embossing powder or the Versamark ink, but almost everything, but everything else. So I've got some strips already pre-cut, 1/2 inch strips, and we're going to use our Stampin' Buddy to get any grease or oils off of our piece there. Let me get my glasses on here so I can see. And this is the stamp I'm going to use. It's from this set from Nature Symphony. It just says thank you. It's just a nice little thank you. And I'm going to stamp that right there in the Versamark ink. Okay. And then I'm going to hold it on with these, I think they're like reverse tweezers. Let me put this lid on. And we're going to sprinkle our white embossing powder on there. That looks pretty good. And then if you get extra little bits of embossing powder, you can use the brush. And then I've got my heat tool here. So we're just going to heat this for a minute until it melts the powder. And you can probably watch. Can you see that powder? It just takes a few minutes. There we go. All done. Whoops, where'd you go? That came out pretty good. And isn't this just a great little, this toolkit I love because it has everything you need. And I'm going to show you. This was our little jar of Wow embossing powder. And I know the tweezers are cool. And I'm just going to shake that embossing powder down to the tip and then open the little opening, and we can pour it right back into our jar here. There we go. Just pour that right back in there for next time. You have to be just a little careful or you can get embossing powder everywhere. And I've definitely done that, and I don't want to do it again. Okay, there we go. And then what I do is just put everything back in my little tray here. There's my Versamark, there's this, where's my other little tool? Oh, here we go. And then I can just set that back and it's all ready to go for the next time. Cherie, hi Cherie, I know. Cherie lives here in Escondido also. Oh my gosh, Cherie, 85. We reached 85. Is that about what you reached also? I'm telling you. Okay, so here's our card, and this is the last thing we need to do. That one little leaf is, there we go. That one is going off a little toward Johnson's. Okay, so we have our sentiment, and I think doesn't it go really well because we've got the card base out of Secret C cardstock. We've got Secret C ribbon, and now we've got Secret C for our sentiment. And I'm just going to just cut the sentiment at an angle on each end of this 1/2 inch strip. And again, I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals, and it should fit about 2 Stampin' Dimensionals here, right on the back of it, just like that. And we'll just put that, I think I'll put it right here. And there's our little card. I think I'm going to trim these little tails. They're a little bit, I want them to be more the same length. Let's see here. There we go. Isn't that, it was not hard, and we used, 88 over there, Cherie. Wow. So this card wasn't even hard, but it has, like I said, 3 different techniques, and it's in a way, it's a classic, don't you think? It's kind of a classic card. And you could put any sentiment there. I used the words thank you because it was the size I wanted and it was from this stamp set. We could have used I like you lots. I don't think it would have been a guy card, but to a great guy we could have used. Make note of that sentiment. You don't find very many like that. And you make me smile. We could have used any of those, but I thought this just looked better proportionately. So put the word prize today if you'd like to be entered in the drawing to win this card for next Wednesday. But again, a quick and easy but classic card, and showing you how to use the Stampin' Positioner. Okay, I'm going to come back up. There you are. And we will award a card we made last week. We'll see who wins this card. So here's the card from last week, and this is a sneak peek. Remember, we did a sneak peek of a stamp set called Homemade Sweetness or something, Filled with Sweetness, that is coming out in March, one of the March online exclusives. And we had so much fun with this card because the dies, there is a die that creates this little card that opens up, that's a jar. I just think it's adorable. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. So quite a few of you wanted to win this card. And the person who did win is Avenel Randall. Avenel, thank you so much for watching my lives. Avenel's watched me for quite a while. And I really appreciate it. So Avenel, I'll get this out to you. For the rest of you who have won prizes like in the past several weeks, everything was put in the mailbox today. So that all went out in the mail today. If you've won a prize, it's on the way. And this one I'll get out in the next week or two. So congratulations to Avenel. And don't forget this month, um, the special, they're calling it a joint offer. I call it the starter kit special because that's what it is. You get the starter kit for $99 and you get the Stampin' Positioner free. And it's really a great deal. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, your evening. And don't forget on Friday I'll be on at 2 o'clock instead of 4 Pacific time because we have to take Ellie for a blood test a little bit later in the afternoon. So I'll see you on Friday at 2 o'clock Pacific. Okay.